Now, I would like to explain what we learned from the police testimony in court. There have been 6 trials so far, and the main testimonies are as follows. The first is that 6 shots were fired from Yamagami's gun in the first shooting, and it was testified that one of them may have hit Sakura's head. The second is in the center of Yamagami. It seems that the Nara Prefectural Police conducted a firing experiment using a hypothetical bullet, and at that time, the 6 bullets spread out 10 centimeters square at 5 meters away. At 7 meters, it was 20 centimeters square. The third is the first shot. The first bullet, one of the bullets from the first shot, went over Mr. Abe's head. Then pierced the red flag behind him, and then the election sign behind it. Comma. And then 8 meters into the parking lot more than 90 meters away. The bullet dodged at a height of 7.9 meters. These 3 testimonies are very important, and I would like to talk about them. First, one of the first bullets grazed Sakura's head. This was a testimony that suggested it was possible, but if you look at other footage, it is a fact. As you can see here, the first bullet hit Sakurai, who was behind her. If you look closely at the wind and smoke, you can see that the hair at the back of Sakurai's head stood up first, and the wind also caused her bangs to flutter up. This shows from the footage that Sakurai was the first to be hit. Also, Sakurai herself said on YouTube that the bullet flew between her and Mayor Nakagawa, who was standing next to her, and she admitted that it was true. So I think the police's claim that the bullet may have grazed Sakurai's head is now considered a fact, not a possibility. Then, this second testimony says it was about 5 meters away. Mr. Sakurai says it only spreads out 10 centimeters square. And even if it spreads out to the maximum and passes 10 centimeters to the side, it's the second red line, the second from the right. It only goes in this direction. So, Abe is this way. And just above Abe's head, there's about a 1 meter gap. Three rows that only spread out 10 centimeters won't spread out 1 meter and go in Abe's direction. And of course, the election flag behind it won't go either. Let's zoom in a little bit. There's an orange flag to the north of Abe's area. And the red flag is a little bit to the right. And if you pass this orange flag, you'll hit the parking lot, the election line. That's the position it's in. This is what I mean here. If the bullet passed through Mr. Abe and the orange flag, it would hit the election commissioner, and if it went straight, it would hit the parking lot. If The bullet had passed through Ms. Sakura, it would not have gone this way, but according to the second testimony, the red flag, it went through here, hit the campaign car, and then went all the way to the parking lot. They say. There were 3 bullet holes in the parking lot, 4 meters, 5 meters, and 8 meters away, but that's not true. Also, it's now certain that the first bullet did not go toward the election commissioner or the parking lot, but how high did it go? According to the third testimony, the bullet went through Mr. Abe's head, passed through his head, went through the red flag, went through the campaign sign, and ended up 7.9 meters into the parking lot. Let's zoom in. In terms of expression, both the first and second shots, Yamagami says that the height of 10 is 1.56 meters. Well, this itself is a lie. This is footage from an NHK verification program, and this is the first shot. Yamagami is there in the first shot. And here is his shoulder. He is extending his arm straight out from his shoulder. And it is almost horizontal. This was analyzed by AI. He extended his arm horizontally from his shoulder. And for some reason, NHK attached a black object here, so I think they made it look like 10, but this position is about 1.56 meters. The position of the eyes. Normally, when aiming, the gun is brought to the eye position, so that is about 1.56 meters. But in reality, it is at shoulder height, so it is about 1.4 meters high. From here, let's see, the angle at which it hits the campaign signboard is, well, what I calculated is 3.18 degrees, but when I calculated it with the AI Glock, it was 3.4 degrees, so this is the angle. It has to be pointed 3.4 degrees upwards from shoulder height to hit the campaign car or the parking lot. And to get over Mr. Abe's head, the bullet has to be pointed even higher, the bullet. So I calculated it to be 7 degrees, but the AI said 6.4 degrees, and it has to be pointed 6.4 degrees upwards to get over his head. And at this 6.4 degrees angle, it would fly way above the campaign car. It wouldn't hit the signboard, and the parking lot would be about 10 meters high. So 5 meters or 4 meters is impossible, and 7.9 meters is also quite impossible. And if it went that high, it would get over Mr. Abe's head, but this bullet board is horizontal, right? Horizontal from shoulder height. The police testimony is strange because it's horizontal from shoulder height. I think it's a lie. This is the guardrail area, where Yamagami went and fired the first shot, in the center of the kendo. Abe is directly north. Yamagami is between the third and fourth guardrail posts. This area is the south side. Sakurai was here. So even if he went 10 centimeters to the left toward Sakurai, he would not have gone to Abe or the parking lot behind him. However, in the trial, it was shown that he went in a straight line. It's strange, isn't it? Yes. Well, that's the point. When you look at this, you wonder if a bullet really came out of Yamagami's gun. If it had, it would have been a big problem. He wouldn't have gone to the parking lot or the election, and someone would have been hurt. But since no one was hurt, it can be concluded that the bullet didn't come out. That's all. Furthermore, a triumphal car was parked about 28 meters away from the defendant Yamagami. 2 penetrators were found on the signboard above and 3 on the rear, and these penetrators were also about 7 to 10 millimeters in diameter, which was consistent with the size of the bullet. The drive recorder installed in the car also detected the shaking of the car body. This coincided with the time of the first and second shots being fired, and the impact was recorded over time. The bullets fired in the second round were also confirmed on the outer wall of a building about 94 to 96 meters from the firing point. There were 3 bullet holes on the side. The one 3.8 meters above the ground and 4.9 meters high, and the highest 7.9 meters high, were damaged. A lead pellet with a diameter of 9 millimeters was embedded in each, and the inspector who was dispatched testified that he judged that it was caused by a bullet. The penetrators traced a straight trajectory from the center. When a line was drawn between the point where the bullets were evaded and the center, it was confirmed that both traced a straight trajectory. The first shot passed through the top of the red climbing flag, passed the triumphal car sign and reached 7.9 meters above the building. The second shot, in addition to piercing Mr. Abe's body, climbed the orange flag and hit the center, the triumphal car sign and 2 locations below the building in sequence. Quoted from a Gendai Business article.